There are three theories of participation. The first theory is the health benefit theory, which tries to explain why people accept and reject new or alternative healthy behavior. The theory has four different components, with the first of which being an individual's perceived susceptibility to getting ill. Some people have a mental block towards getting ill, whereas others fear a realistic danger of falling sick. The theory states the more a person feels they are going to get ill, the more likely they are to act in order to prevent it. In our survey, 50% of people said they exercise in order to maintain good mental health and avoid mental health related problems, showing mental illnesses are a primary concern to the people in our survey. Furthermore, it shows they fear physical illnesses less. The second component of the theory is severity, which states how seriously the person believes they would be impacted should they get ill. 100% of the people that filled out the survey confirmed they exercise over 3 times a week, showing they feared severe illness and exercised more as a result. The penultimate component for the health benefit theory is perceived benefits. These are the positives people believe they will receive towards their health should they take up a new exercise regime. In our survey, 100% of people said they would start up a new exercise regime even if it would improve their health, even if they initially found it very challenging. This shows health benefits are a huge reason people in our survey exercise. Finally, perceived barriers are the person's perception of the difficulty they may face by undertaking the action. They could be physical difficulties like aches and pains, or psychological ones, such as feeling tired or unenthused. In our survey, 50% of people said they did not exercise more because of physical issues, while 75% of people said psychological problems were one reason they didn't do more exercise. People may feel the negative barriers to exercise cancel out the positives. For example, a person may decide they'd rather not do exercise as they risk being tired and aching at work, which could lead to them not being as productive and earning less monetary bonuses. The second theory of participation is the theory of planned behavior, which states three factors must all be positive towards starting new exercise in order for somebody to begin. These three factors are attitude, subjective norm, and perceived behavioral control. These factors combine to form intention, which leads to productivity. Although all these factors must be present, some components have a stronger impact on the final decision than others. Attitude is how much the person wants to do exercise. So positive attitude would be someone wanting to try new exercise themselves. This is an intrinsic factor. In our survey, 75% of people said they could easily motivate themselves to try sport, showing they did have a positive attitude towards sport. This also shows that for these people, attitude played a big part in their decision to start a new sport. The second factor was subjective norms, which is a measure of how sport-orientated the environment in which they live in is. The theory states the more sport-orientated the environment is, the more likely they are to try a new sport, and maybe even a specific sport that people around them are doing. A sports environment does not necessarily mean people that they live around are sporty, but it could be that they're exposed to sports, such as watching it on the TV. 100% of people that took our survey stated other people's opinions did not affect their exercise they choose to do, which implies subjective norms is not a significant component for these people when choosing a new exercise. The final component of the theory is perceived behavioral control. This is a measure of how easy or hard any potential participant believes starting new exercise may be. Potential barriers for why someone may feel exercise would be too difficult is if they have a lack of time or confidence in their ability. On this point, 0% of our survey were intimidated by starting a new exercise, although 25% said they would be intimidated by starting a new sport, citing a lack of experience would render them unconfident. In fact, a common trend over the course of our survey showed people believe starting sport early can breed confidence, but that it didn't matter when you started exercise. This could show people feel less pressure when exercising as the only goal is their own and there is no chance of them letting a team down. This model states there are 6 inevitable stages to starting and finishing exercise. The first is pre-contemplation, where a person is not ready to proceed and take part in healthy behaviour. They do, however, believe they should make a change and may act defensive regarding their decision. This shows that they are beginning to consider that they may need to do exercise, but they haven't specifically thought about what they're going to do or when. The second stage, however, is contemplation, where the person has accepted they need to do something active to improve their health. The third stage begins around 30 days before exercise commences and is called the preparation phase. This is where the person begins to tell people about their intentions as they are so sure they'll begin. The action stage is where exercise begins, and this is shortly followed by the maintenance stage, where the person needs to start engaging with their exercise or risk a relapse into their old ways. Finally, termination occurs at the end of exercise, either when the person has done all they want to do or need to do, or has simply begun to feel lazy and can no longer be bothered. The theory also states a person can quit at any stage if they do not have a strong enough desire to exercise. In our survey, 75% of people admitted to only getting as far as the pre-contemplation stage in the past. However, 75% also said they would be prepared to start a new exercise, so this shows the contemplation phase as the people accept they need a change. Unfortunately, 100% of people said they had given up on exercise in the past. This could show either the termination of maintenance phase, depending on how long they participated for, but also the action phase. All of our results support the theory.